Thanks, Simon. Alberto Pucci expecting Marc Marquez
in the background. Bagnaia Bastianini then bound for the factory Ducati team in 2023. Still, of course, in the hunt.
Getting involved in the incident we saw in the last race is always there. So it's really important, I think, to finish the first lap, to be safe. And
thanks to Lynn Jarvis then, boss of Yamaha, said Ducati. There is the World Championship standings. We don't even need to have the graphic, do we? There you go. 19, we make the move quickly. 6.5 hour flight or so over to Bangkok tomorrow. And then an hour's flight up to Buriram. I'm looking forward to the Thai Grand Prix next weekend. And in this championship then, coming into round 16 here, the Motul Grand Prix of Japan.
Marc Marquez was switching to the soft confirmation. We saw him switch. Stakes could not be higher. Marc Marquez, though it is, who starts from his first pole position for 3 years with Zarco and Brad Binder alongside him. The first of the title could convert pole position.
Japan 2022, really good start from pole position by Marc Marquez. Likewise from the man on the front row, Brad Binder, who'll get the whole shot. The South African sweeps up the inside.
Marc Marquez into second place. It looks like Oliveira's had a great start as well in the second of the KTMs. He's up into fourth now.
Can you believe it? It's Jorge Martin Zarco, I think. For him, got to keep his composure. What happened to Aleix Espargaro? He drops that factory Aprilia. So desperate he was to get in
for the Grand Prix, because Oliveira is all over the back of him. A high drama, highly eventful opening lap of the Grand Prix. Martin will lead us, completing the first lap
on each other, elbow to elbow. Quartararo versus Marini there, coming out of turn number 2. That was a hard move by Fabio Quartararo. That was really costly for Marini. He picked up 2 spots on that first lap, 15th to 13th. But the big story, the big drama involving Aleix Espargaro on the factory Aprilia, the title contest.
And the mechanics don't know yet what the problem is. Simon Crafar is down there. Fabio Quartararo is having to defend a little bit there from Paul Espargaro. All of a sudden, he's got a bit of an opportunity now.
Just over 300 kilometers an hour into the 90-degree corner. On the last lap, on the first lap, he got Oliveira and Marquez into that turn number 11. This time around,
9 seconds off the lead and 24 riders ahead of him.
Yeah, on the spare bike as well, not his preferred bike. There's always a difference, isn't there, between motorcycles when you jump off.
The hard front, soft rear. Looking at the tyre allocation that started this Grand Prix for Aleix Espargaro, here's what happened.
Yeah, you can see him there coming into the pit lane.
Rear in it. So,
top end of the circuit, the hairpin curve, barely had chance to catch our breaths as we have this dramatic start here in the Motul 13. This has been a superb start by Jack Miller to this Japanese Grand Prix. He started in 7th place. He's worked his way to the front now. Miller leads.
Coming under pressure here from Luca Marini. Quartararo still running in 8th position. Then he's just behind his compatriot Johan Zarco. Quartararo, though, 4/10 of a second.
Aleix Espargaro, the damage to his championship, not that severe, is it? After his warm-up lap issues, major tech problems on that Aprilia for him on the warm-up lap with Quartararo.
On the last lap a week ago.
So we are getting Bagnaia Bastianini chapter 3, but not where we thought it was going to be after their epic showdowns on the last lap in both minutes. Further back down the field then, Bagnaia and Bastianini fighting for crucial World Championship points here.
Well, remember the comments from Ducati before this when team orders became a subject. Upon Paul Espargaro ahead, Marini, though, has now passed Quartararo for 8th.
Miller's pace at the front of this Grand Prix is absolutely stunning. He's just on another fastest lap at 1:40.
Takes the apex balloons a little bit wide and the door opens up and Marini is happy to turn it tighter and just carve up the inside, and with the straight line speed of that Ducati, it doesn't compromise him on the
9. He had to make that move because Miller and Martin are starting to stretch away at the front of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, 2 pulling away at the front, and then we have a trio battling for the final podium position. Quartararo.
That's the problem, isn't it, for Mark?
Medium rear tyre. Now we look back to that battle for 4th position. Brad Binder has pulled clear of this now, still lapping in the low 146s, so it is a straight.
Johan Zarco, who started in 2nd place, he's going to come over the line in a distant 13th. He had those problems a few laps ago. He's dropped back through like a stone back, and he's honing in on more here because Maverick Vinales just ahead of him, a couple of tenths ahead.
Yeah, let's ride on board with the world champion. He's getting a good view there of his result, given where his other title rivals are in the race.
Simon, I believe you've got some important information with the issue that affected Aleix Espargaro before it was lights out for this Japanese Grand Prix. Thanks for that, Simon. Yeah, we're going to be intrigued. Aprilia are going to be mobbed, aren't they? It's going to be a big crowd for the media. You've got to think, though, Aleix Espargaro would have fancied being ahead of those 2 in this Grand Prix. He had podium potential. Big disappointing day for Aleix.
Circuit here on your upper body, and of course Marc Marquez with that reason he operated humerus and his right shoulder. Did a 146.7 last time round. He lost 0.8 of a second.
So do not rule out Bagnaia who so often has great late speed, great late race pace, there still may well be a potential 7th.
Aleix Espargaro gets under braking there for turn 10. This is for 17th position. The bad news for Aleix Espargaro, as Matt mentioned a lap or two ago, is that he's got 4.
This is a blown opportunity for him, and particularly the factory Aprilia team are on board there now with world champion Fabio Quartararo potentially increasing his lead in the world, because Binder now has just within 9/10 of a second of Jorge Martin. Is Martin just running out of rear grip here late on?
Yeah, he did a 1:46.1 in 45s. Bastianini's got an interesting role to play here, hasn't he, in 9th position. He did a 46.0, lost 4/10 to Bagnaia. How hard will Bastianini...
Laps with a couple of corners remaining. It will not be easy to pass. And there, Bastianini, of course, the strong point of the Ducati is its braking stability. They're on almost identical machinery here.
And the Yamaha team will surely now be telling Fabio Quartararo that the next rider behind him is his chief championship rival, Pecco Bagnaia. They run 8th and he got back down into the low 146s again, but the time has really plummeted on this lap again. They're going to come now around to complete lap 22. Jack Miller's way
take of the entire race. He started on pole position, of course, over 1,000 days since his last pole here back in 2019. Bagnaia having got...
Feels like a matter of time, really. He's not got much time to make this move, Brad Binder, but he is visibly faster than the number 89 ahead of him, Martin, who was the only rider who looked like he had
that soft rear tyre, as we mentioned, that's fantastic late race speed. There'll be some severe tyre wear on that soft rear for Marquez, but it looks like he will take all over the back of Jorge Martin. Now, this is the difference between the medium rear tyre that Martin has and Binder's hard rear tyre at this stage of the Grand
Point. But this is the difference between an 11-point championship lead for Quartararo and a 9-point lead if Bagnaia can get through. He's a bit too far back from there, even though he does close in.
What would be a very valuable 8th place, not the result he was hoping for, not the result we expected from him. Always a Sunday man, isn't he? Marquez still resisting.
He'll wait to see what kind of action unfolds up ahead of him, but we're now into the final stages of this penultimate lap, lap 23 of 24.
Lead of 5.4 seconds over the line. Quartararo gets the pit board. Directly behind him is Pecco Bagnaia. G3, that means a group of... Pecco Bagnaia's crashed! Can you believe it? What an error by Pecco Bagnaia. Head in hands for the Italian on the last lap. In lap before, haven't we, this season from Bagnaia, when he's been in great positions to put the pressure at the top of the championship. Is that the biggest blow yet for him? It's another DNF to block the copybook of the Italian here. 3 corners left. Here comes Luca Marini trying to find that 4th place on Oliveira. He's got the inside, secures him 2nd place. His first podium since the opening night in Qatar. Jorge Martin takes 3rd, his first rostrum since Barcelona. Marquez is 4th from pole.